How y'all doing today? My name's Zain, and today's topic of discussion is going to be inspiring through fear. Inspiring through fear. The first thing you should ask yourself, is it possible to inspire through fear? We're going to look at this in a couple of different ways. Yes, you can inspire through fear, but let's tackle this on two fronts. One, are you really doing it for the right reasons? Two, is it long term? The reason why I'm talking about this is I'm thinking about a few different things. I'm thinking about how more often than not, say for instance if you're talking about a topic and a person is trying to get a point across to you, or maybe they're trying to fill you in on something that you don't know, and they think that they have a better success rate of being heard, or you're taking some seriousness to it by basically doing fear mongering, slapping a whole lot of things on it to scare you into listening, scare you into paying more attention, scaring you into maybe following what they're saying. Now, you know, one of the first things that come to mind when I think about this is I think about an aggressive salesman. Notice I said aggressive salesman because not all salesmen are aggressive. Yes, I understand you assume the sale, but we're going to stay on this point of aggressive salesman in regards to this fear mongering. The reason why I'm likening it to an aggressive salesman, think about it. If you're trying to tell somebody something or you're trying to enlighten them on something, then you share it, you move on. You let them do with it as you please, or as they please. At what point do you have such a vested interest in them or in what you're showing that you're just going to stand over their shoulders and just make sure they're doing what you said? When it really comes down to it, you're really trying to get somebody to do something that they don't want to do, if you're having to do something like that. And check out how grammatically correct I'm getting ready to say this sentence. You ain't gonna make nobody do nothing. Yeah, I know I use double, triple negatives up off in there. Really, it flips it around and makes it where it really is a positive statement. But you get the point of what I'm saying. You're not going to make anybody do anything that they don't want to do. So what's your purpose? What's your reason behind slapping fear up behind it? Another reason why I'm tackling this topic, this is something that we're all guilty of. We've all done it. I've done it. You've done it. I've seen it. But what made me kind of stop and pause on this topic, I recently noticed a person discussing something to another person which they were covering time and time and time again. And when they were talking about this topic that they were covering with them time and time and time again, they touched on something that struck a nerve with the person that they were trying to persuade or influence regarding what they were talking about. And what I saw as a bystander, I saw fear come about. So when the fear came about, the other person that was trying to make their point, they pursued that fear because they got a reaction out of them, they got a rise out of them. It made it seem like, man, this thing that I've been trying to get you to do all of this time, now it seems like you're taking it seriously. But here's the issue with that. First of all, when you're doing something like that, you got to understand that it's going to be short term, because you can only scare somebody into doing something so many times, or it's just not a good way to go about doing it. All right, take my word for it. Think about it. On any time that you've been frightened into doing something, Either you got over the fear, or if it was something that you wanted to do, you went about another way of doing it. Whether somebody was hanging something over your head, constantly telling you something, either you just quit letting them know about it, you went on doing what you were doing. You may have stopped for a little while, or it may be some things that maybe some truths were realized, and maybe you did stop doing it. But just think about that. Take it to yourself for a second. Going back to the second topic, or the second side of it, what is it that you're actually trying to get them to do? That's the reason why I likened it to a salesman. Because see, at this point, it's not so much on you trying to be enlightening or you trying to impart some sort of knowledge to me. You're trying to get me to do it. So what are you selling me? Should I just accept it and do it because it's you that's telling me? It's not a way to inspire by fear. When you inspire, you motivate, you get somebody that wants to do something because they want to do it. It goes down to their core. When you inspire somebody, they take what they need from it and they do as they please. That's how you inspire. You don't scare people into doing that. And if you are, what's your reason for it? Some people might say, because I know one person I'm thinking of in particular, that I remember intervening on a situation where they were just really harping. Well, first of all, this person does this a lot. They were really harping and harping over this same thing, and I've noticed they've done it to multiple people, including myself. So they would harp and harp and harp. So when I addressed them with it, when I'm just like, hey, just relax on it. People aren't crazy. They hear you. I heard you. Multiple people that you've tried to import this to, they've heard you. Just as you have heard it and you've done as you please up until this point that you decided to use it. Relax. I was met with, no, you don't understand, because this is serious. This is basically, they were making the other person's situation their situation. So they just, had to stay on their back, beating them over their head with it. You're not inspiring when you're doing that. On the contrary, you're actually making a person want to do the opposite. Because what you have rising up on the inside of them is you have first frustration, then you almost create this rebellious attitude. And we're not going to even talk about where if you're not following whatever it is that you're trying to push off on somebody else. That's a whole nother thing. If you want to inspire, you want people to do something because they want to. That's why we talk on this channel so much about taking things to ourselves first and doing things in a healthy manner. It's because it's all about us. If we can really get our heads around that and know how to operate and change our self-talk and deal with ourselves in a healthy manner, we're able to do that with other people. And it's the same thing with you. With me, you're not going to inspire me with fear. Now, I may have my own fears come up on my own things that I may or may not do, that I may have my thoughts about, but you're not going to scare me into doing or not doing anything. Inspiration through fear. That's the topic of today's video. Think about it. While you're thinking about it, hit that subscribe button. Follow me on other social media, Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, Instagram. Obviously, I'm on YouTube. This is where I'm hosting my videos at. Check out the book that I've written. I am Kilimanjaro's The Arithmetic of Family Communication. I'll leave a link in the description box. In the meantime, stay encouraged. Avoid being discouraged. I'm Ayin. You have a good one.